Hey guys, it's me, MMB, Mighty Max Boxing, and today I have a true top tier fighter with me today. We have Steve Cunningham with me today. Thank you so much for coming on, champ.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. So I just want to begin quickly. Simple question: how have you been, champ? How have you been feeling? I know you just fought Frank Mir relatively recently. How are you feeling as a fighter currently?
Feeling great, man. Feeling good. I'm always training, getting ready to get back in the ring. It hasn't been announced yet, but do a couple more fights and then retire. But I feel great. I feel awesome. Feel strong. Feel like I got more to offer. I still got some more to give.
Awesome. You know, we just saw you fight recently against Frank Mir. There's a lot of fights that could be made for you because there's a lot of guys trying to fight these big events and Triller and all that. What would you think about, maybe fighting someone like a Jake Paul or fighting one of these Hasim Rahman type of opponents? Or are you trying to actually get back into fighting some type of champion type of fighter? I know
Yeah,
you've been here for a long time, so I'm wondering what you're looking into doing next.
I'm looking to just get in there, get warmed back up, and then go after something. You know what I mean? That's basically it. Then go after something, and then retire. I'm 46, but like I said, I feel great, man. I feel really good.
For sure. You fight like you're way younger than 46, with that experience, but with the athleticism of someone way younger. For sure. You know, your nickname is USS. I did look into it. You did serve. Can you explain that nickname, where it came from, and the origin of it?
Yeah, USS was an ode to my U.S. Naval service. I started boxing in the United States Navy at in 1990 96. So when I turned pro, after I about 11 fights, I signed with Don King, and then I started just fighting all these different fighters from different countries. Started going to Europe myself, and that's when we're like, hey man, USS. We changed our name to USS, like a ship, branded me like a ship, so traveling, willing to travel. I won both of my world titles overseas, so man, that's it was pretty dope.
Yeah,
Pretty dope to get that name.
that is really cool. And, you definitely represented the country of America very well. We got other fighters like Jamel Herring as well, doing a great job as well. He's also been on here. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
I know you fought Tyson Fury. You put Fury down. You gave a great showing. What do you think about Fury and Chisora and Fury and Usyk and this whole situation going on? And even the post pass with Fury and Wilder. So what's your whole assessment of what's going on recently?
I mean, right now, with Usyk holding the belts, Usyk is kind of the man, but Fury's the man.
Yeah.
Fury is the man in the division, but Usyk came and he's got those belts. And me personally, I don't think that's a fight Fury's interested in because of,
I agree.
for a few reasons. It's a really hard fight. It's a tricky fight. People think because of the size, he'll just run him over. No, and that's not going to happen. But with Fury fighting Chisora, I don't want to see that. A lot of people don't want to see
No,
it.
not at all. It's a terrible
Right.
fight.
Nobody cares to see that. What is that? The fourth time? What is
Third
that?
time, second time
Third?
he made Chisora quit and dominated him. So
Yeah, it's
he's absolutely.
ridiculous. How is that? It is what it is. More power to both of them, man. They make a check.
I'd
So,
rather see him rematch you than rematch Chisora, for being honest. I mean, you
yo,
put him down,
right?
you keep great going.
Right. I'm with it. I'm completely with it, but
Sure.
Chisora versus Fury, nobody I've talked to
No.
is at all excited about that or wants to see it. So
Yeah,
this might be Fury's lowest viewed, internationally fight ever,
for sure. And you mentioned that the size, yeah, big reason I actually favor Usyk over Fury is because of your fight with Fury. We saw
Yeah.
that Fury had a lot of issues with your speed, with your athleticism, and the fact you're a lot shorter than him actually made the fight much tougher for Tyson Fury. And I feel you've given a big blueprint on how to beat Fury. And I think Usyk will definitely look at your fight multiple times because you definitely exploited a lot of issues with Tyson Fury's ability in that bout. I checked. You do come from Philly. Do you think that has helped you as a fighter and as a person, made you tougher, just made you a better man overall coming from there?
Yeah, it's made me a better fighter, no doubt. Growing up in Philadelphia in the era that I did, late 80s, early 90s, and it was crack cocaine everywhere. It was like, we went from fist fighting in the streets to guns, and guys wanting to shoot you for nothing, yet you still had to go to school. It just stuff like that. That atmosphere, that environment helps help build the heart that I had, that I have within me, because it's like I don't fear nothing, like I don't fear no man. I don't fear what he thinks he's gonna do to me. I think I can do more than him. I face guns. I face getting robbed at gunpoint, getting jumped numerous times,
Yeah.
And but I had to stand up, I had to stand back, I had to shoot back, had to do something back. So in order to survive. So that's the type of man that, I am, and that's the type of man that the environment of Philadelphia, created in me. So but also now let's talk about boxing in Philly. I mean, man, when I left to go to the Navy, I never boxed in Philly. I trained a little bit, but I never boxed. Then I come back to Philly as a pro, and I'm 11-0, and now I'm at the gym. And in the gym, you have Yusuf Mack, Eddie Chambers, Chaz Witherspoon, Hank Lundy, Julian Williams, J Rock as an amateur, Cool Boy Steph as an amateur. You got now, Boots wasn't in the gym we were at, but you had all of these guys. Blair the Flair, he was in our gym. You have all of these guys as amateurs and pros, and we're all feeding off each other, growing and learning. So Philadelphia is a unique spot for boxing. It's just one of the boxing hubs of the world. And you get great champions, and not only just great champions, great fighters out of Philly overall.
For sure. So do you feel that your upbringing and just growing up in Philly in general has made you a tougher person in general and a better fighter overall?
Yeah, it does. It has, yeah.
Sure, for sure. And honestly, Philly, they're looking pretty good right now. Boots Ennis and Cool Boy Steph. You still got Danny hanging around.
Yeah, Danny. Can't forget about Danny, man. Danny's been holding it down for a minute. It's just an awesome city, man. Awesome fighters, like I said.
Most definitely. Now, since you've been around the game for a very long time, what's some advice you'd give to young fighters and people that want to get into boxing in general? What advice would you give them?
Push yourself. Treat it like it's your job. If you're working a job, boxing is the job above that job. You have to do more than what you think your opponent's doing. Think that your opponent is running 5 miles, so you do 5.5 or you do 6. Here and there. That's the champion mentality that needs to be carried around. If you're doing 6 rounds, think that your opponent is doing 6, so you do 8. You do 10. Push yourself, man. Always push yourself.
Most definitely, for sure. And what would you say? That's great advice. We actually seen that in the ring. You've pushed hard. You've dug pretty deep to win a lot of these fights as well. What would you say is your favorite moment of your career so far? I know it's tough. You've been around for a while. You've had a lot of fights. What would you say if you had to pick one? If you're forced to pick one event, one fight, what was your defining moment?
My defining moment was stopping Marco Huck in Germany in the 12th round. Yeah, baby. That right there, like me and my wife, we look at that highlight reel. We look at the highlights of that fight and we almost tear up because that fight was my first title defense. I was coming off of winning the title, and it was a fight that I didn't care how I looked. I just wanted to get the title. So it was an ugly fight. And everybody's like, oh, Cunningham looks like crap. He's going to lose. Marco Huck's 10 years younger. He's a monster. He's a beast. And he was. He
went on a big run after that fight.
Right.
Incredible.
Right. So, exactly. So he actually, I think he had the most defenses in the WBO, so that kid was great. But and he beat the top cruiserweight guy at the time to get to fight me. Exactly. So I kind of was like, man, this is gonna be a rough fight. If I lose this fight, it's gonna be the roughest fight for this kid. And going in there, beating him down, and having his corner throw the towel in the 12th round was beautiful. Like, oh man, I still feel it right now.
I gotta turn that fight on now. Now I gotta start looking at that one for sure. Because
look that fight up.
Sure, most definitely. Now, before we wrap this up, you just tell people where they can find you online.
Hey, listen, you guys can find me on Instagram, USS is Legend, and also go to my comic book page, USS Comics. I make comic books. I draw. I make the stories. I ship the comic books out. I do it myself. I turn fighters into superheroes, and I have 3 comic books out already. Me versus Amir Mansour is a 3-part series. I'm working on Austin Trout's comic book now, and more to come.
Awesome, awesome, champ. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been great chopping up with you. Have a good one, champ.
Peace. USS Comics, y'all.